Well, hello everyone. It's Lennon, and welcome back to Art and Archetypes. Today's archetype is the Lover. So, I'm gonna try to plan this out like I normally do. The Lover archetype had a lot of similarities to me with the Caregiver. Like there was a lot of talk, a lot of discussion on the idea of perfectionism, and I think that what people confuse about the Lover is that they're only interested in their idea of their and or society's views on beauty. But I guess after some research, I didn't really think that was the case. It was more so that they're subscribing to what people consider to be beautiful, right? Why doesn't this fit? Maybe I didn't do it right. Their self-image is based off of what someone else has told them it needs to look like. So it's not so much that they're trying to be beautiful. I think there's a lot of emphasis on being attractive. And I don't necessarily think that always is beauty, right? So I'm going to glue this whole I want this particular page of this art journal to be glow up. That's like the theme I'm going with. This one is glow up. Because like I said, I do think that people assume it is about beauty with the Lover, and let's just be attractive and let's just be the best looking person in the room. But it's not that. It's not in my opinion. I think that the Lover archetype makes us believe that in order to have lasting relationships, and society is to blame for this as well, that you have to look a certain way, right? So it's more on an adaptive self-image. And it could go with the times too. I mean, it's like if these archetypes existed, in time memoriam, all right, then what would the people that didn't have ways to glow themselves up via clothes or makeup or what have you, how would they have done it back in those times? And yes, if we were to look at maybe even the Egyptian pantheon, I could kind of see some makeup and some jewelry that allows certain royalty really to be glow up. But I don't think that it was really about that. It was just about that particular time. That jewelry or that makeup would have been about status than about gaining a partner, or a mate. And there are things that people have done to gain partners, to be attractive, even in nature. We know that in nature, the males of the species are the ones that are more colorful, and they have dances, like that bird. I love watching about that bird that has this special dance to attract a mate. And sometimes the females are like, you didn't really do that good. But so that's always fun to watch how the male species in nature, they tend to be, there's a glow up aspect of that to attract a mate. Okay. But that's at a primitive level. And when we're looking at the archetype in all senses, I think that the goal here, the goal for the Lover is to gain a lover, to gain a lasting relationship. That's what I want to say. It's a goal, right? And I'm just gonna make some like petal shapes here. don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going with what my gut tells me. Let me write down goal somewhere, because y'all know I like to have a title, and I'm going to have the glitter paper being the forefront of this. So I want this to kind of be the backdrop of everything. Let me glue this. Actually, you know what? We'll learn from our mistakes from last time. I want to use a mixtures of the love colors, even though all colors would be for love. Okay. No color discrimination here. Let's see. The goal, actually, I haven't even wrote lover anywhere. Let's see if I can, I don't know, maybe I want to cut these letters out like I did the last time. I think that would be nice to just have the letters up here. And it's okay if there's glue everywhere. I always try to let the page dry before I close it. Plus, I tend to like to work with my page after I'm done with it, which y'all don't see me do. But the whole point of these exercises that I do, I do it so that if I want the heart, I would have to do it this way. I would have to do it this way. There we go. Y'all don't see the work that I do outside of the video, but I like to work with them because the whole point of working with these archetypes, oh, that didn't really work out, but oh well, is to learn about them and to meditate about them. And it's not so much that this journal is just for looks. I really want it to be kind of like a working archetype journal. And if I want to come back, because there'll be pages left after I'm done with just these 12, I want to come back and add to it as I learn more about the archetypes. Maybe I learn more things about myself in terms of a specific archetype. Maybe some things that involve shadow work could come out of working with some of these. And I want this to kind of be an ongoing journal for that type of work. So the beginning here is just for, I guess, aesthetic purposes, for me to feel like I've done something creative with the archetypes, to placate them, and then you know, continue to work with it after the fact as well. Almost done. Then we're gonna get into some info about it. This glue, this Mod Podge needs like a rubber cement brush. You know, like with it. There, this turned out a little bit better in terms of the heart right there. Wanted them to be little hearts, like I was a valley girl writing in a diary, right? Let's put the trash somewhere. I won't have to see it in my face. I love having these strips of white paper be like the focal point. I don't know what it is about. It just makes it look more like a art journal to me, I guess. You know, something like this. Maybe. Well, let's do the first thing, you know, first things first. I wanted to write down the goal of the lover, which all archetypes have a goal, something that they strive for, right? And, ooh, this ends up being like the exact same color as this paper. They value commitment, right? They want those relationships that last for a while. And whether or not that could be toxic for them, they value that that relationship that you just continue to build on, right? So I think that's the thing. That's the thing that is so concentrated with the lover. When I've studied certain of the like lover archetypes, like the Femme Fatale, right? That's a very shadowy to me, in my opinion. That's a very shadowy, or can be a shadowy aspect of the lover, because you think that she's tried to strive for this. This femme fatale has tried to strive for a lasting relationship. She can't seem to get it right. You know, I'm thinking about that movie. She can't seem to get it right. And so it turns her bitter. I think that bitterness and or to an extent obsession is probably the two most prominent shadows that the lover would have. Something that is causing them to be jaded in love. But it takes a lot, I think, for them to build to that. Now, some articles I've read have talked about that actually not being right, about it taking a long time for them to get jaded. A lot of articles have talked about the fact that when they get jaded, it's like life-breaking. It's like gut-wrenching, and it's almost like you've broke them, like in a way. Almost like you've shattered their whole self-image, their confidence level, their reason. You've shattered the goal here. You've shattered the goal. You have broke them in a way because they've been striving for something and they're not reciprocating, it's not getting reciprocated. So that can be life altering to a lover in an archetype sense. I'm writing down their fear. I like to do this too because I think that fear is a strong word, but in terms of an archetype, it's nice because it's almost like the fear backs up some of the shadows. So whatever their fear is, that's like the opposite of their goal. So if they're striving for a lasting relationship and they strive whatever the goal is. Okay, I'm just using this as an example, but if the goal is something, then the complete opposite of that is you don't want anything to do with whatever it is that ultimate fear is. And for the lover, I guess we'll stick with the cursive. I think that there's something beautiful about cursive. If I could do it right. Being alone. So, as strongly as they strive for those lasting relationships, those relationships that they can fully commit to, that hopefully their feelings are reciprocated and they can build on a relationship that will last for a long time, the same energy, that same amount of energy goes into not being alone. Now, with that, again, these are like, I guess, my opinions based on this, research, is that with that energy that's being placed into gaining a lasting relationship and not being alone, here comes another shadow. If their fear is being alone and they don't ever want to be alone, because that would be, yet again, something that would crush them in a way, something that would break them in a way, they may just jump into relationships just to be in one. I've actually met a couple of people who are like this, like in life. They get divorced and then a week later they're with someone else. It's like, because they can't be alone. They literally cannot be alone. And they value the relationships that they've had, that they keep trying to find this relationship, this one that will actually last. And if they jump into relationship after relationship, then that can turn shadowy, right? That can lead to the bitterness, that could lead to obsession, it could lead to jealousy. I do think that part of this could too be this form of idealism, like this lover, not so much a shadow, but more so just like I guess a portion of the lover would be it's like idealism in a sense that they are looking for that relationship that's perfect, right? But that may not exist. And I think that they don't want to realize that, because in realizing that, then they'll have to kind of deal with the fear of the lover archetype a little bit. They'll have to deal potentially with being by themselves. I guess I want to say. I wanted to put this flower stem somewhere. I don't know, like, had it like that though. But I need something to cover this up. I think I'm just gonna do this black paper here, because I really want this something I'm working on over here to stand out. So, see if I can do this. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Idealism. So idealism is a real thing that the lover archetype has to battle, because they're seeking. They are literally seeking this relationship that's gonna last, that's gonna be perfect, that, for lack of a better phrase, be better than the last one, you know, depending on how many they have to get through to get to this perfect relationship. So like I said, I think that can lead to some idealistic mindsets that could lead further to shadow someday. To like shove it down. And then if I really am hard on it, then when it closes, it won't, like, I don't know, hopefully it won't like be wonky right there where the crease is. Now, there was a lot of talk about losing your identity to please others. Now, I think that this, again, goes more into the staying physically and emotionally attractive. And that some lover archetypes, it could lead to losing yourself to please others. Again, I think that links back to the being alone fear. So you're willing to lose your identity to fit into this box of someone else's idea of beauty. So I want to kind of write that down so that I can reflect on that as well. Losing identity to please others. It's like all the words are on this page. Oh. Now, I do want to write about what the archetype is good at and good for. Don't want to always concentrate on just the, just the shadows. The quote could go up there. I could put some words here, what they're good at. I'm gonna put some keywords here, the words that I associate with the lover, that to reflect on the good, right? Let's not concentrate on the bad. We want to know that there are some good things that come out of the lover archetype as well, right? And the first, in my opinion, is passion. They're really passionate. Appreciation. They're really good at telling people what keeps them happy, right? Like, I don't want to keep using the term play safe, but they make their partners comfortable. They're good at that. They're good at gratitude, right? And either in a showing of gratitude or a telling of gratitude, they're just really good at expressing their appreciation and gratitude for the other people that are in those relationships with them. And I think that that's a good quality of the lover. And of course, commitment. They are really committed, which, to be honest, is a good quality. Yes, it can turn, sour if you let it, but it's still a good quality. And I think that we need to, I need to reflect on that quality. Let's do this right there. And really, the whole thing, this whole point of this journal is for me to come back and reflect. So it may not always be pretty. I tend to say that a lot because I don't want to give people the impression that I'm like really good at this. I guess, well, let's recap a little bit, because I don't like to ramble in these. The lover archetype is one like the caregiver. But their goal isn't to care for people. It's to find people in which to have lasting relationships. Now, that doesn't have to be a romantic either. It can be any relationship that's going to last a while. And it's important to them to find those relationships. But there tends to be some glow up shadows with a lover where they're willing to lose themselves to identify with someone else's image in order to gain the lasting relationship. They may jump into these said relationships in order to not have to deal with their greatest fear, which is being alone. Which again can lead to romantic or even toxic relationships of any kind. I should have put that down here. Damn. I guess it'll work out. Now, where do I put this? I guess I could put it right in the middle. Like cut this off a little bit. Or small sections like this. Oh, we'll see how that works out, because I'm not wanting to cover up all that I've just done. Anything less than passion is devastating to a lover. They want whoever's in the relationship with them to exude as much passion as they're giving forth. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and glue these down because I don't know how many I'll be able to fit. And I'll just have to write the quote out as I go. You know me, I like to have a quote. Someone else that said something in time that would potentially relate to this archetype is something that I value. I've always been fascinated and drawn to quotes. So that's, of course, something that I need to incorporate. All right, now the quote that I picked for this. Wait, let me see if I've gone over everything. Their goal is to be in a lasting relationship. They fear being alone. They exude so much passion, appreciation, and commitment, which aids them in gaining a lasting relationship. Those are qualities they possess to gain in lasting relationships, although they're willing to lose themselves to please others. Lose their sense of identity to please others, to conform to someone else's image of beauty. But realistically, they probably want to be and stay emotionally and physically attractive. Bitterness and or obsession could be a shadow aspect of the lover archetype, in my opinion. There's like no life after they've lost someone. When they've lost someone that they think is a lasting relationship and it turns out to be not, it literally breaks the archetype. And then I guess the final thing is idealism. They are seeking these lasting relationships, these perfect relationships with attractive beings, and it may or may not even exist in the real world. So there could be some kind of shadowy idealism that they have to deal with too in their lifetime. So I picked a quote that I believe, I don't know, exudes the lover archetype in my opinion. I must get my soul back. From you. I am killing my flesh. Without it. Ooh, that worked out nicely. Sylvia Plath. And there you go. I really like this. You know that pick a petal thing where it's they love me not, they love me not thing? I used to do that all the time. And this kind of reminded me, this archetype reminded me of that concept, right? They have to just do anything to be in love and in a relationship, you know? And I just had to put it on this page. So I hope that this was fun and informative, and I hope you come back to Archetypes next new moon. Let me know your thoughts. Much love, everyone.